Hey guys, what's going on? It's Matt and Sean here with another week of Lehigh Valley real estate topics, anything you really need to know real estate wise. And Sean had a fantastic idea, hit me up early in the week to have a guest today. So Sean, who do we have here? What's going on?
Well, we are bringing you Ryan Dietrich from the Dietrich Group over at Berkshire Hathaway. Ryan is not only a very good friend of mine, but he is an amazing commercial realtor. And he is probably one of the most knowledgeable, and I'm saying this now, but he's really not. But on the show, he's probably one of the most knowledgeable commercial folks that I know in the Lehigh Valley.
I concur.
So
I'm the only one that you know.
He might be the only one I know. Ryan's here to really talk to. We want to talk about commercial real estate in the Lehigh Valley and beyond, and what's going on, and what the happenings are.
Yeah. Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself first. You've been doing this a long time. I mean, I don't know if your exact stats on that, but it's been quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm in my 20th year of commercial real estate, actually real estate altogether. I started. I was actually working at Verizon Wireless selling cell phones, and I grew up in real estate. My mom has been an agent and appraiser since the late 80s, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
She was working at a local appraisal company and decided that she wanted to do something on her own. So she reached out to my sister and I. This was back in 2005, wondering if we wanted to get into real estate. And again, I was selling cell phones, so to me, I was like, why not?
Yeah.
Hop into it. So
Sure.
I went in both
Sales.
feet. Not
I mean,
knowing what I was doing.
you need a cell phone to sell real estate, right?
That's true. That is true. That's a good point. Kind of jumped right in. My sister, who joined the company, was called Dietrich Group. She was an attorney by trade, so she came on as our broker. We started off as a small little commercial real estate firm handling appraisals and commercial real estate. And we kind of grew that. We had the company for about 10 years. We were up to about 25 brokers, a lot of part-time guys here and there. Started adding on a little bit of residential real estate and property management.
Nice.
Sold the company in 2015 to Colliers International. Took on a contract with them to work for them. Went over there and was an office broker, strictly office. COVID hit, which made things a little difficult to get any work done.
Especially commercial real estate.
Correct. Obviously, working there, I was only an office broker, so I decided to head out and I joined Berkshire Hathaway in Macungie, and worked on with them on their commercial division.
Yeah.
And I've been there ever since.
No, you've been crushing it over there.
Yeah,
I can tell everything on.
Blessed, yeah.
Going very, very busy.
It's been a lot of fun.
Well, and I know Sean's got a whole bunch of stuff some questions and points. I figured a good talking point for me, I do mostly the residential stuff, but still I get a lot of questions on commercial. And this doesn't pop up a lot, so I think it's fantastic info, especially in the Lehigh Valley.
Yes.
So overall, before we dive into more in detail questions, what are you seeing? Like what is your overall on this year and next year and commercial? I figured it'd be a good starting point just to kind of
So I've been noticing quite a bit more office leasing, which has obviously been very slow since COVID. It's starting to pick up a bit. I've done, I think, about 4 or 5 office deals this year, which is, I think last year I did 2.
Okay.
So I feel like it's starting to pick up, and it's larger stuff.
Okay.
I just completed a 10,000 square foot office deal a few months back, actually in this office park, which was the largest office deal I've done probably in 3 years.
Wow.
And I'm doing a lot of retail work. I'm starting to see the industrial market, the hotness that was before is no longer really there. There's a lot of some vacancies left out there. And landlords seem to be a little bit more willing on prices to kind of get a deal done to fill some of the spaces up.
Yeah. Is that the larger ones you said and the smaller, or just
Larger ones, the smaller stuff, I'm seeing a lot of people looking for between 5 and 10,000 square foot spaces, which are very, very hard to find right now. And those, the landlords really aren't willing to negotiate on price much because there's not much inventory out there. Kind of what you're seeing in the residential world, where there's the inventory is low.
What do you think is driving the influx of more office space being leased out and rented out?
I think it's
Like, is it out of state or out of area companies that are moving in, or
Very few that I'm dealing with myself. I just feel like it's going back to the office thing is finally happening. And
Yeah.
I think people are like, it's time to
Yeah.
go back, and it's starting to pick up a bit. I mean, it's not gangbusters.
Yeah.
Lehigh Valley has never really been gangbusters on office space to begin with. I mean, we do have a lot of office buildings and office product, but it's not, your major cities where there's, constant people looking for
Yeah.
office space and everything. So it was
Storefront
never
stuff.
hot.
Yeah.
But it's definitely starting to work its way back.
That's
I actually just sold an office building. I closed on it on Friday of last week. That was the first office sale I've had in quite a few years, and it was a 55,000 square foot office building. People came in to buy it as an investment and occupy some of the space that was in there. So you're starting to see a little bit more of that. Banks are, warming up a little bit to lending on office product. For a while there, they didn't want to touch it whatsoever
Yeah.
because the volatility of the market.
And that's where it's not so much in my neck of the woods, but like people watching this, and you hit on before, like 5 to maybe 7,000 square foot. Like, what an example? What is that? Is that like more like a Hamilton Crossings type thing? Is that more like in Trexlertown you have some more of the strip mall? Like, what size is that? Like, if people are thinking about, like, I want to grow my business into an area, that size, is that what those are?
So the 5 and 10, I was referring to industrial,
Okay.
like small. If
Okay.
it's a contractor, if it's car detailing guys
Gotcha.
or something to that effect. There's not a lot of product for that out there. So anybody out there listening, if you want to make some money, build some some small industrial buildings. They will
Yeah.
lease up very quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
so you just mentioned something about building, for whatever the need is, right? There's not a lot of supply of certain things in the valley. What about like retail? Like, what's the retail sector like? I know like the malls seem to be emptying out, but we just had the South Mall over in South Allentown just added a giant in there, and it seems to be starting to hustle and bustle a little bit more. Like, what's the need for retail? What's that look like?
Smaller retail, I think, is still going better than the larger retail. There's still some nationals that are looking to get into the valley, but everybody's always talking about Trader Joe's coming, and Trader Joe's is saying that the Lehigh Valley's not ready for it. But to me,
I think we're ready
we
for
should
it. There's a lot of people that are ready for it.
I agree.
Cookie butter.
Yeah, I'm not fully understanding of the Trader Joe phenomenon myself, but I've been there, I've done it, and I see that we could use that here. But again, the smaller stuff, some smaller restaurants that are out there, smaller mom and pop shops that are doing stuff. There's some larger restaurant groups in the area that are signing on some newer restaurants in the area, which a lot of people weren't expecting them to do such. And so I personally think it's still moving. When you get into the larger restaurant chains like a TGI Fridays or something to that effect, those guys aren't really, they're downsizing more than growing at this point. But still the smaller guys are still moving.
That's
and
good.
doing stuff, which is good.
Yeah, that's what I think having those smaller retail shops going in, because everyone you talk about is the warehouses. That's another topic of going through with a sore topic for a lot of people are the warehouses and stuff like that. And
Soon to be data centers.
yes,
That is
that's kind of where I was going with that. Of where do you feel we would be a hub for that with our geographic location to New York and New Jersey and needing data centers and those things. With AI and all that kind of stuff. It's still new, and so if anyone knows, probably you do.
Yeah, I do know of one that is going through the process right now locally, very locally, Trexlertown area, which is the Air Products site that is slated right now to be a very, very large data center. I think last I heard it was 2 million square feet, somewhere around there.
Wow.
And I heard of another one potentially in South Whitehall and up towards Palmer. Also, there are talks, actually north of Palmer, excuse me. There's talks about another one there. Main concern with that is obviously you need a tremendous amount of electric and water to cool the systems down. I have been hearing that when these data centers do come up, the local utility rates tend to skyrocket because there's such a demand for it, which is a little concerning for residents in the area.
Yeah, we live here, so that's wow. Okay, do you know what timeline that might be, or is there any talk?
Still kind of going through the approval process, and being that data centers are so new, there's no real zoning classifications for these. So a lot of the townships now are meeting and discussing where they would fit a data center in their zoning, their current zoning. And some townships, even in the rural, I don't want to say podunk areas, but the more rural areas, have actually just been adding it into their zoning and saying if something comes our way, then we'll figure it out at that point. But there's at least a category for them to fall into now.
Wow. Is there incentive for them to bring those data centers in that you know of?
Not that I've heard anything. You know, the plus of having a data center with this explosion of industrial that we have here, there's no real traffic involved in it. There's no trucks coming in and out of there. Very minimal need for employees to be overseeing the data centers. So it's a great use for some of the older industrial buildings or sites that have been sitting that are eyesores that need to, you know, kind of be done and fixed up a bit. These are good spots to do it. But again, you still run into the need for massive amounts of electric and water to cool.
Yeah, didn't think of that.
Yeah.
So would the Lehigh Valley Dairy Farm be a good potential place for a data center, or is that just like way too far gone? And
That probably needs to be taken down and start over on that site there.
Yeah.
I think there's been numerous attempts to do things at that location that have fallen through. Again, though, it's going to depend on the utility availability in that area too.
Yeah. And going through with, because I did want to just circle, only because I get people that do call in, and Sean does, I'm sure, as well, just more on like the smaller, firsthand, someone that has a small business that you help put into a position. If you've not known about the Truffle Bar, which is absolutely phenomenal. His wife
shout out,
owns this.
definitely shout out.
Shout out
You
to
have
Truffle
to.
Bar.
Yes. We had one of our account executives bring those to our Thanksgiving that we had here.
Oh, you did?
They were gone in about 2 seconds.
Well,
I knew
that's
what
great.
they were. And I'm like, that's why I grabbed mine quick. So check out Truffle Bar. But going through things like that, like smaller, and I'm just thinking people watching this and for commercial and thinking like that, smaller retail type storefront stuff. Is there anything, like people come to me with mortgage stuff and getting prepared. If they want to either lease out or look to purchase, something like that. They have a business that's growing and they're thinking about it. Do you have any like tips for them or what they should do besides calling you?
Yeah, well, that's number one, Matt.
Yeah.
Is call me first. No, it goes back to the old saying with real estate: it's location, location, location. We're starting to see that MacArthur Road is still busy. You're still getting deals done up on MacArthur Road, but the most popular area right now for kind of retail is the Hamilton Boulevard corridor, and it is very difficult to get on there. Prices have jumped like crazy. You look at Hamilton Crossings, there's no availability there, and of course, if something does come available, it is larger chunks that are over there, and they want more of a national tenant for that location. But again, it goes back to kind of location, and then it's knowledge. When you look to go get a space, a lot of people that are looking for these smaller retails are more mom and pop, and they may not understand the full dynamics of commercial real estate.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at like a shopping center, there's a lot of fees that are in there that you don't realize. You look at the advertiser rate of $21 a square foot. Oh, I can afford that. But then you have to add on there, you have CAM charges on there, which is common area maintenance.
There's a lot of acronyms that go into things when I see on there too. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's where what is it called?
Triple net.
Triple net. I just don't.
Triple net,
These are
there's cams.
things that you really need to talk to someone about.
Correct, and it's really knowledge, because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't understand what you're doing. With CAM, for example, let's say the CAM is common area maintenance is $3 a foot. However, that's based off of the landlord's budget. So if the landlord goes past his budget, then they look at a percentage. So you're 2% of the center, so you're responsible for 2% of the overages that are there. And if you're in a large shopping center that has a massive parking lot, and we have a really bad winter, and there's constant snow removal and everything, a lot of these budgets are blown out. Like they're over. Maybe they're over $100,000, and you're responsible for 2% of that, or whatever your actual percentage of the shopping center is. So it's really knowledge in there. Some of these shopping centers require you to then add on your insurance plate glass. So if somebody's just walking by and throws a chair through your window, landlord's not covering that. That's on you.
Does this happen a lot?
I've seen it happen before. It's not a common occurrence, but it's something you have to think about.
Wow. Okay. So you really got to do your homework more. It's
do.
like it's more than just, hey, I want to get this and
Correct.
with the leases, there's all those things that go
Correct.
along with
When
it.
you're looking at, like, for example, like a triple net lease, you're responsible for the landlord's insurance for the property. You're responsible for all of its maintenance. You're responsible for their taxes. There's a lot of things that go into it. So when you get into a shopping center that's, let's say it's $24 a foot, you may end up being there $30-some, $34 a foot when it's all said and done, plus overages if it does occur.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are you seeing probably too, if someone does want to make that step and make that move, or they feel they're ready, probably is it most do rent first, or if they have the funds purchase? Is there one that's preferable between the two? If your recommendation,
So, starting
it's all
off-
specific to the business, of course.
The business,
but-
yeah. Starting off, if you're a small kind of new business, I always suggest to lease first before you purchase a building.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that that you're not stuck in a location or scrambling in a few months if God forbid the business doesn't
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sean and I always talk about buying versus, but in this case it's more of a business decision. You're not living there.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
But talking about buying commercial real estate, like the residential market is, it goes up and down. Prices go up and down, values go up, and we've been seeing a huge rise in the increase in values in residential. What does the commercial world look like overall?
Yeah,
big
overall
picture.
prices since I've started in the business, prices have definitely gone up. When I first got into real estate in 2005, industrial buildings you could get for $3 to $4 a foot, and nobody wanted them. They kind of sat there. I'm seeing now upwards of $13, $14 a foot, sometimes $16 a foot. So it's really rose in the 20 years that I've been doing the business.
Jeez.
Office has kind of remained pretty steady until you get into the Class A office buildings, or if you get downtown, but that's a whole nother topic another day. But those rates could be up to $30, but you're getting tax credits back that brings it back down to $15, $16 a foot, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And retail prices, they're climbing, but it's not unattainable,
Yeah.
if you will. Like some of the other metro markets, Philly or New York City, something to that effect.
Wow.
LA.
Yeah. So it's always, and I always say moving away, and I worked in Florida for a number of years, which is and that's where the Lehigh Valley has always stayed fairly stable, longer
That's
term
correct.
with things. So
Yeah.
that's good to hear that still everything's coming back like that. That's good.
Yeah, and I will say that our area is attractive. I'm sure you guys are seeing this as well, but it's very attractive in the commercial world, especially with like industrial, because you are virtually 8 hours from every major port.
True.
And our prices are still a lot lower than New York and New Jersey, so people are coming here, developing here, and they still have the ability to get to those ports in a good amount of time.
And bring in some jobs.
Correct.
Which is always good for our area as well.
Correct.
And that's a number one thing that drives the residential market around here is the proximity to
Yeah.
Philadelphia, New York City, northern New Jersey. So it's a great, the Lehigh Valley is a great spot, not just for residential, but for commercial businesses coming in.
Correct.
Investments.
Yep.
It's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Do you have any other questions that you want to hit on
No, I
topics
think
on
he
today?
pretty much summed it up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we should definitely have Ryan back for
absolutely.
a future time.
I think we need to. This isn't being done, and a lot of people don't know about the commercial side, and it does pop up more and more in our area, and no one really talks about it.
Yeah,
So it's
and
really good stuff.
One thing I will say too, before we kind of wrap up, if you are looking to do a commercial deal of some sort, highly
Call me.
suggest having a commercial broker.
Yeah. Yes.
If somebody came to me and said they wanted to buy a house, I literally wouldn't even know where to start or what to do. You just want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row and you have the right people on your side.
Yeah.
Highly suggest having a good real estate attorney handling the transaction. I just did a small 2,000 square foot lease, and the lease was literally 72 pages long. 72 pages. So you look at that, and you need the right people on your side. There's a lot of redundancy in those, and you need to have people that understand it and can negotiate things out for you.
Yeah, and it's a lot. It mirrors residential real estate, but with a lot more caveats and a hell of a lot more
Yeah,
acronyms.
they are definitely two different animals.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I don't know if
agree.
there's more acronyms. I just think that the acronyms are something that we never hear
Nah,
on
you're
our
right.
side.
You are correct. Yeah, that'll be for next time. We'll run through those. So.
Just do an acronym session.
Well, Ryan, thank you.
Yes,
for
thank
joining
you,
us.
guys. I
This
really
was
appreciate you having me on.
Awesome news.
Great
And
having
if you guys have any questions towards the end, you know who to call. Sean and Ryan's, all their info will be towards the back of this. And we'll catch you guys next time.